Very early on in my sequence of videos, I talked about the measurement device that sticks down into the sump and gives you an oil level reading on your dashboard. Let's just take a little closer look at this gizmo. So basically, at this end, it has screw threads with a washer. Up on the top of the block, it screws in. It sticks way down through and pops out into the sump. I can see if we can get the light to be even remotely good. I can see about 1.5 inches from the physical end of it, some openings with some sort of shiny metal contact, we'll call it. Probably is something that when it's wet, it has a different resistance than when it's not covered with oil. And then if I come up again with my finger, this is not very far, about 1.5 inches. There's another opening with what I see is kind of a similar contact down in there. And then I come up a little farther and I see some little slots. And I'm going to say they might just be a way to break the capillary action and, allow some air to come in so that the oil can move up and down in the tube and not get locked. There's another set of slots up here. So the entire thing is, here's my arm. I could get you a measurement, but it's probably not super important. It's probably about 12 or 15 inches long. But the business end, as we showed in a previous video, sticks down into the sump. I'm sitting here looking at it, I'm thinking, man, I could put a dipstick down in the same hole. But of course, you'd have to take your engine cover off every time. But at some point, I believe, it's something I like to do, to baseline my oil measurement system. I will take the engine after I assemble it, get some oil into it, and make up a dipstick that's kind of like this and get a number where I think, or just get a reading as to how high the oil is with respect to the sump. Not sure if I'll need that, but I always like the baseline. Any car I have with a dipstick, in the back of my mind, I'm worried, well, what if the dipstick was never marked correctly, or it's the wrong dipstick for the car? You could be running around with the wrong amount of oil. So this is the one time when the engine is totally going to be free of oil, and we'll put in the recommended amount and just kind of see where it comes up to. Okay, enough about that guy. The oil level sensor, which goes into a hole in the bottom of the sump here. If we walk around, it's going to be on the top of the block right there. Not sure after you assemble your engine whether you're going to be able to get direct sight on that, but that's where it comes out. As a frame reference, the oil dipstick measuring device is on the passenger side on the top of the block. As a point of reference, here's the big casting for the starter motor. So it's going to, if you see the starter motor and then you look back towards the passenger side, you'll find that. There is an oil pressure switch shown on the PET diagram. In case you're curious, I'm on bank 1 through 3. I'm in the top of the cylinder head cover, valve cover, I guess you'd call it. There's a threaded hole right here, which communicates to a hole right there, which communicates to a hole right here, which sprays down into one of those stud holes that's charged to pressurized oil. So that's where you're getting your pressure signal. Now that's just a dumb sensor. It's either red light or no red light. It doesn't give you a pressure, but it does tell you, when it reaches a set point that your pressure is getting low and it turns the light on.